Here? Yeah, okay. Okay, I didn't know that, so thanks. So then we want to add the other statement, yes? Else if, the same. So else if, because we are attaching all these rules together and we want to build something by the end. So else if, how do I handle the other one? User age is bigger than or equal to 6. Yeah, actually, it's bigger than or equal to 6. Can it be bigger than 6 without the equal?
Yes.
Was, yeah. Yes. So who said yes? No, no. How would you think about it? We're just thinking together. It's, yeah. Because if you say greater than 6, if the user age is 6, then it will not follow this if statement. But we want to include the if, the age of 6 in this condition. So then, exactly, yes. But if we don't want to include equal 6, then greater than is fine. But you can also do it in another way. So you can also say if it's greater than 5, then it's 6 and above. So there are two ways to do the same thing. It's just how you think about it. So it's, let's say, just greater than or equal to 6. So I'm also trying to be consistent. So all the ifs will follow the same pattern because I just want to think the same way in multiple things, not to confuse myself. So if it's greater than or equal to 6, and then the other statement is user age less than 15. Is there other way to do this? This one. Less than 16, yes, because less than 16 will be from 6 to 15, and 16 will not work. Yeah. In the first one, or here? This one? Yes. This one? So if I only have one of them. Okay. So that would handle yes. But also we want to, yes, that would work for anything until 5. But what if user entered -1 as age? Is it a valid age? We want to verify, we want to make sure that, and -1 will be handled in the case when we have else where no conditions are. So we will try to match any of these cases, and if no matches, then it will go to the else because you gave us a wrong input. This one? Without the first one? Yes. Yes, and then it will be, you mean it will be from 5 to this, and this from 5 to, or from 6 to 15. Yeah, that might work because like we will take it, we'll process in order. That is fine, but I think since we are just learning, so it's better to be explicit about it. We can make things shorter in the future. We just like take it the long and hard way. And if you know it, then you can make it shorter for yourself in the future. Yeah. So this one is fine as well. So console.log, you are between 6 and 18 or 16, sorry. And by the way, if you notice here, I added the else if in the same line with the curly braces, but this is also valid. And you will find a lot of people in the internet fighting. It's like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? And it doesn't really matter. It's like whatever you like or whatever your team agrees with. Because you might work in one company where they use this style, and you work in another company where they use this style. It's like, it works the same. So it's like, yeah, I don't care. So it's preference, and also sometimes the way to style your code. You can use some tools to format your code, and then the formatter will have a specific pattern that you can use. It's very similar also to if you use to indent like a tab, or you can use 4 spaces. So some people also like to use tab and some people like to use spaces, but it's, yeah. You want to say something, Adrian? Or?
Yeah, I was actually going to say if the user inputs to
yeah.
Right between those two.
Between the two, yes. And then it will be code in the, oh yeah, that's actually true.
I mean, this one answer.
Hmm?
I think it doesn't mention these things that we already did. It's an error, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. Let's assume at the start that the user will enter only like a valid integers, not floats. But yeah, we can improve it in the future. Yeah. Yeah, but it's a valid point. And then what is the third statement? So should I add else here or else if or what? Else if. And then user age greater than or equal to 15 or no 16. Yes, I actually did this wrong. Yeah, 16 and user age is less than or equal to 18. And then console.log. Let's say something for now, and then else if user age is above 18, it's a single statement because we don't really care in this case. And then console.log. Yes, should be greater. Yes, okay, yes, that's right. And then the last one, for anything else that doesn't match this, then we will do here something. Hmm? Try again or wrong input or something like that. Wrong input or unexpected input. It's okay. So we have here an example, age 15. So the program ran and then it said your age is between 6 and 16, and that is right. What else? What inputs can we try with this? Should we try? Someone said, yeah, we talked about.
What number?
Yeah.
Decimal with dot.
Yeah, 5.5. Yes, wrong input because as Adrian pointed out, it's not greater than 1 and less than 5, and it's not greater than or equal to 6. So it didn't match any of these two. So it falls under the else.
And if we write like 4.5, it will go to the first.
Yeah, 4.5, and then between 1 and 5. Yes, exactly. So we just wrote this if assuming that the user only will enter numbers without any floats, but we can adjust that. So what if I say -1? What will the output be? Wrong input, yes, because we haven't had a case for it. Okay, but this is, so now we know how the if else works, but let's go back to the first example we have. So we want to do something when the user age is above 18 and he has accepted the terms and conditions, which is the rules here, like cookies and so on. So we want to say if user age,
Just add this condition to our, like, can we add another?
Here?
and, or like user age is less than and greater than, and then end, like.
yes, you can have unlimited amount of rules, yes. Yeah, but that is gonna be a long one, so I don't want to edit in all of them, so just, but it will work, yes. So let's just have this simple one here for the age, if the age is above 18. So if user age is above, was greater than or equal to min age, and user accepted rules, true. So then let's say just go on. And then otherwise, let's say, sorry, you cannot enter the website. So now because the user age is what is we are getting here, sorry, you cannot enter the website. But it's because the user age is -1. So if we make it to 17 still, but if we make it to 20, then the user can go into the website. Is it clear? Yeah, okay, cool. So then moving on to the switch case. So the switch case is quite similar, but you would use switch case. So if you have a lot of branches, so here, as you see, if you see the my mode is like something, and you want to match multiple cases, you can also use it with if. You can use most of the things with if statement, but a switch is more suited if you have multiple single cases that you want to match. So you see here, we started with the one constant about my mood, and then we started with switch with braces, and then my mood, and then case equal to the value. So then we try to match. If my mood is happy, I do this. Else, if my mood is sad, I do this. And then I can extend it with multiple cases. And then default, the one down there with colon, is the same as else. So you would use it if you want to have multiple things for the same type. But let's try to also have an example of that.
We have to write break.
Yes, if you don't want to match the other case, because it also starts in order. So you can go case something and then break, case something and then break, but you can still match multiple things if you don't write break. But ideally, if you have only one case you want to match, then you add it and then you can include break. So let's go here. And let's actually do the similar example with this. So if we want to match age, we have a specific ages that we want to match. So we write a program that is targeting people in age, let's say 10, 15, and 20. Only that. So we can do this with if, and we can do it with switch. So write a program to match users at age 10, 15, and 20. So first, let's do it with if, and then we do it with switch. So how would you do it with if? So if user age is equal to, what did I forget here? Is 10, do something, then else if user age is equal to 15, do something, and then else if user age is equal to 20, do something. So what would happen if I don't put else here? What will happen if I don't put else? No, it just will not hit anything, and then it will move on to the next part of the code because it doesn't match any of these. So so now how can we do this with switch? So as I showed here, this is how we define it. So what will it start with? Oh, yes. So it starts with switch, and then user age, and then do this, and then case. What is the first case we want to match? 10, and then do something, console.log, you are 10, and then break. And then let's say white. Yes, okay, fine. And then the other case is 15, then console.log, you are 15. Then we also need to indent it and then break. And then the other case is 20, and then you are 20, and then
Can we add the condition in case?
I actually don't think so. It's only for each of the cases that you match with this variable.
The 10, 15, 20, is it the name of the case or is it the actual number?
It's the actual value of the age that you are trying to match. We want to make sure that it is exact the value. So it's the use case for switch if you have a specific catches that you want to match. If you want to have multiple more complex things, then you would use if else. So here the program is complaining, saying that we expect a default value. So the default value is equal to the, oh no. Okay. Okay, whatever. Yeah. So then We have default. Okay, I probably need to use something else then. I had a backup. JavaScript. Let's say something else. No, yes, no.
You can use any inspector.
Yes, I think the inspector last time didn't work well because I couldn't zoom in, but let's try again this time. So I actually learned something from the last time about this. Run a command, zoom in. Yes. So it's
something else too.
code, yes. Code pen, yeah. Yes, is this big enough? Yeah, okay. So then we only are interested in the if statement, and then just delete all the other things, and then let's say break, and then we have the default case, default, and then indent one level. Yes, and then console.log unknown option, and then break. So we try to match if the age is 20. So there is also a third type of operations that we can do, which is called ternary operator. So ternary operator is kind of a shorthand if statement in a single line. Usually people try to use it if they think they are smart, in my opinion, because it's just like one liner that you can do a lot of things with. But if you can see here, so you can say, am I lucky? But actually, another example that's connected to what we are talking about is, are you above 18? So we can say above 18 equal to, so then user age, and then is it greater than or equal to 18? Then you add a question mark, and then true if it's right, and then colon if it's false. So this means if the user is greater than or equal to 18, then the value is true, else anything else just return false. So if we return the value of above 18 is true, but let's say their age is 1. So then it's yes. And let's say that it's above 100. Just for fun. It's false because the age we have is 20 and 20 is not above 100. So we take the last value. So it's like one liner. So if you know, how can we do the same thing in if else? How can we do the same in if else?
User age.
So if user age is greater than or equal to 100, then let's print for now, or let's say that let's declare a variable here called let above 18, and then if the age is above 18 is true, and then else is false. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yes. Above 100 to be more accurate. Okay, and then yeah. Okay. So as you can see, it's shorter, but it's doing the same thing. So when you should use it instead of if else, I think there is no strict rules. It's different way to do the same thing, but if it's a very short thing that you don't want to take a lot of space, you would use it, but it serves the same purpose. So now, yes, I did the demo, so that's fine. So Now it's time for your first exercise. So write a program to give a discount to a train ticket. Like if you're taking a train from DSP or something else, and then you want to write a program to give you a discount based on the passenger age. If they are between 0 and 2, they get free ride. From age 3 to 18, they get 15%. And if they're between 19 and 26, they get 10%. And if they're senior people older than 60, they get 70%. And anything else, they get the full price. And we will be around to help. So.
Yeah, it's been it's nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. I don't know. I like it. Yeah. But maybe a lot of people don't have like the app anymore. Because that's what you use it for. I would use it for the bottom of the. So like it's good. That's right. In some way, I have two dogs from my best. Really? Yeah. And it's really that, I wonder if you're like connected, no? Because it's IT, like most of IT, I think they are, we should give this out like as posting together. Yes. Like as a prize or something. I don't know, maybe you're doing something new every day. Yeah, the best. Really? Yeah. That's what. It's one of the best things that we have. This I have the senior Polish architect that doesn't say anything, but I'm not the you deserve a promotion. You help so many people. That's the thing. Non-functional. Yeah. It means that it has to be very good there. 5 to 6. Yeah.
في دايما اخواتي عايزين تنزلوا حاجات كده.
بس كنت عايز اضيف يعني انا دايما طالع
طلعت السنة اللي فاتت كده حاجة.
لازم طبعا تلاقيش صحابي على
I don't know how many might join.
I'm good in my views.
It's probably
But actually, when it comes to this, maybe you can also count it because it's not only also if you can see very very long, just maybe but also compensate. So maybe you can messages.
for them to feel it's pain.
Yes.
If you know, if it's easy to explain it to the kids, that shouldn't afford so
Yes.
as a support for people because
Yes.
that it will be conflict in the same story that it's important to explain this is
Because my idea is, for example, with this count exercise, I would come to them and say, okay, if you want yourself to eat yourself, then you come to the function. Okay, who's going to Yeah. Mhm.
Ah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, yes, that's true. Yeah, we haven't thought of that.
Actually, I've also seen in code base.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the language.
Yeah.
Convert to them.
Oh, yes. Actually, this also I will come to talk about the true field false values because yeah, I haven't talked about it yet. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Especially the concept.
Okay, that's.
Yeah.
If you have zero,
It's true.
and what if you do like and zero reports like minus zero.
Yeah.
We didn't declare, like, why, how did it check without we input any value that is.
You talk about the terminal operator.
Yeah.
Mm.
Higher than 18, global.
Mm.
But why?
Because
Actual value.
yeah, because user age is we declared it before in the previous example. So this one we reused here. And then this statement will be compiled, will be processed by JavaScript, and the value will be assigned to this variable.
So not a single line we need to use else if it's.
And think about this expression and it's in brackets. And from this thing is executed as a whole and result is assigned to this variable.
So similar to if else, if you go if then else,
Yeah.
and then you get the value. So this one will do this and give you the value in one line.
Declare like constant iteration.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. But this one we use from here. The user age is this is the same. Yeah, yeah. It was just from the previous example. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be magic. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's then you try that yesterday, but this one and times what is it? That's 0.85. You said here, we need to multiply the by 0.8 cancel everything. The right hand is going to be 170. Pretty smart. And this I see if those add up. Here. This one is. Down to the external, I think right, any source of like a 30 minutes, it's like a 30, you get
One quick thing I think is gonna, with the only thing that she's not even going to do this. In this case, right? Changing it, right? So here, the new one, like, with the 50, There you go. And then all of this needs to be displayed. So here, yeah, you want
No, but you are doing extra. It's just
So discount report you can do if there is just the whole plan right?
I'm not some sort of side or something.
So check really answer.
Are you coming back and
Yeah. Okay, so I think we are all done with first exercise. Whoever is done with the first exercise, then please do this second exercise. We have here statement with if else, and we want to change it to be with ternary operator. It's like question mark and then colon. It's like, yes, if the age is there, if the input is this, do this, otherwise do something else. Yeah, so. Of course, if you don't remember ternary operator, you can just Google it as well, just to know how to do a search for that.
Did you do it? Yes, I understand. Yes. Yeah. And one more thing we can do that the default case could be different. Okay, at the end.
Yeah.
And then open it, then no condition, I can switch my.
Yes.
Even the condition, right? Because if you just if neither of these, then you're an adult. No, it's a right, but it's- Yeah. And if you don't, the discount, then.
Okay, so my.
Yes, just right.
There's no more. The syntax.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, go this, yeah, for me, so go down. And you also go either, no, that's the page. And this, recognize that, and instead of writing three right, you can just write this down, the thing anything with zero. No, but yeah, but then you can. Don't say what's the line, yeah. Just look here. Also, the whole thing. Otherwise, it's right, it's not like anything good. Yeah. Right there. Also, you write this would be less. And the one there. Like that, exactly. Now. Right, it's not like you won't find. See, or and then go down this, you go down this, and then press tab. This thing. Yeah. They say that.
Maybe the next thing about.
No, not having done. The index. Okay.
Yeah, so we have this. So say that you want to put it around, so you want to that it could be a good position. It's just a get you this the line like no question or so they will done this. What about one of them? That's just then you don't use this. Then you have what they call it.
Is it
to have a low so the lower order, right? If below here is not research code, then but it's not.
I think it's one that is also.
Yeah, because it's reserved word productive. It's only one word like this.
then you add it to, yeah, or you declare variable. But in this case, yeah.
The ternary operator.
Then how would you just
That's almost okay. Make result be equal to this. No, it's this, okay, and then just go on here and make it equal, so like that. Yeah, and if you, now if you want someone, then we. You try also to one different values. Yeah. You also put the A and B some value. And so go above this line and then let A do something and let B something equal to 5 and then B 2 or something.
This is the most brilliant thing. I think that's something more of JavaScript will basically wait.
Oh, yeah, you don't need the first one, this.
Over like that, and it's like
Yeah, what is there?
No, it's your so it's like something. This question that you can decide so something with it.
So the numerator is basically exactly you have everything you have to make it that equal, right? You just start with something and then you use a condition. This is something integrated organization.
Yeah. It's not the word.
Yeah, that's important.
Maybe you can.
Yeah, and then the other condition, question mark. So we ask, if it's true, just if it's true, then.
Guys, we are folks.
Just a minute, yeah.
Just a minute. We are going over the ternary operator again. Yes. Yeah.
Which, yeah, you can just use it in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are going over the ternary operator again, explaining it again.
Yeah, just a minute.
And the ternary operator is basically an abbreviation to if else. And then the way we write this operator is that we, for example, use a condition here, and then if this condition is true, do this. Or if it's false, do this. Okay, and then what JavaScript will do here is that it will first evaluate this condition, check if it's true or false, and if it's true, it will execute this part, and if it's false, it will execute this part. And this only happens when you have if and else. So for example, if you have if and then else if and then else if and then else, you can use this. This is more or less like just to, based on this condition, have one of these two options executed. Only if you have two options, you can do that. Okay. And then the question is to transform the where was it? The exercises.
Yeah, this one. Yeah. This is one.
Yes.
Yeah.
The exercise is to transform this syntax into the ternary operator syntax, the one that was just explained.
Oh, yeah, no.
What you just wrote, it's actually a series of conditions.
I've seen some countries in London. Like some sort of also, one more thing you have to add here, that you get a free ride. This is not, you only get this, your over 6 right? Yeah, but it needs to be over. That's the only get 50% if you're over 600. So now, you realize that if you're 1 or 2, you get a free ride. If you're 3 or 80s between these, you get this. You're 19 and 26, you get this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are they're just adults. They don't need this. So you have to write one of the you get there, this out. Yes. Exactly. Yes, the person who drew that. Sorry. Sorry. You guys know this, right? No, this company. But this free. Yeah. But then no, the greater than we put them on the and you don't have to well, these are it's just and then you also it's not the real thing. So yeah, yeah, then it's supposed to be all the situations, then you just this will probably not work because I'm reading the same code over and over, but it's just then you have the whole thing one inside another, and so on and so forth. Then so you have a section that on one slide you might see, but the bigger screens in the so on. It's a lot of going on, so a lot of display on the PC sizes because this one, you have this but will respect masking? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. The result.
Yeah.
So why then I think we should tell, right?
But it's not. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, we can remove this one, yeah.
So just we just from the number from
Then we probably should define a concept of ratio.
The whole line.
All right. Since I guess the majority of you have finished the exercise, there is one part that we didn't go through in the if and else that I want to explain from the notion here. Thing is, we can go a bit. Where is that? Okay, I actually couldn't find it. Okay, I actually can't find the part I wanted to talk about. Okay, then I actually can't find it here, but let's talk about it without the slides. So JavaScript have the concept of truthy and falsy values. So as we know, true and false, right? We have been through it, but there is another thing called truthy and falsy. So we learned that when you if something, what happens here will be what happens between the two curly braces will be executed if this is true, right? But what is the definition of true? So like when we do, for example, comparison greater than or equal to value, then that would be true or false, right? But JavaScript have something else called truthy or falsy. So true is a truthy value, but also empty string is a falsy value.
Oh.
It's false, yes. So let's say that let name equal to empty string, and then we say if name has a value, then console.log hi, then plus your name, and then else, and then we branch here console.log. There is no name. So logically here, what will be returned? Why? But why it's false?
Because it's no string, so it's empty.
Empty string, exactly. So empty string value is called falsy. So this, it's not true, even though you don't return true or false that we learned about 0 or 1, it's still a falsy value. So if you do this, no name. So also if we change it to do something like, yeah, let's say is active, and then we do 0, and then we also do if is active, and then console.log is active, and then else console.log is not active. So what will be returned? Not active, because 0 it's like false. Yeah, 1 is true. Yeah. So it's not active. What else? If I declare something like let yeah, space gives true. Yes. There was actually a table here somewhere I'm trying to find, but I can't find it. Not a number is yeah, I actually don't know. Let me just yeah, it's okay. I'll try to find the thing, but let's say also x equal to undefined, or let's say x without assigning a thing, because by default it's if we don't assign a value to it, it's undefined. So if x console.log something, so we don't have to even do else, because if it's true, it will print something. So if okay, let's why no okay. Oh, that's tough. What? Who? Then who? Okay, that's okay, finally. So in this case, let doesn't have a value. So even if we try to print foo, it is undefined. So undefined is a false value. But actually, from the things we were doing, and actually, Anton is not here. Okay, he pointed out something that it's also true. So if I say const is above 18, and if we say if 15 is greater than or equal to 18, we have this ternary operator, right? Then we return true or false. And then we usually, until now, we learned that if it's above 18 equal to true, we do something, console.log something. But actually, so this will print nothing, because it's, or actually, let me try to do something. Another example is above 18. Let's say something that will hit true. So let's say is above 10 equal to 10. Is it greater than or equal to 10? True or false? What did I do wrong? Yes, okay. So is above 10 is true, right? And then I'll say if is above 10 equal true, then do something. And then if we press enter, it has a value, right? And it's true, so it will do something. But actually, this part is redundant. So if I remove it, it's the same, because the value of is above 10 is true or truthy value. So I don't have to check this is true, because JavaScript already knows. So it's just extra code I write. So I can just keep doing that in the future. And I know that JavaScript will evaluate it this way. And then we also had the example about name. Let's verify that name is empty string, right? Yes, let's try to if name console.log do something else. So this one we know it will return nothing. Yeah, what will it print? Nothing. Yeah, because name is an empty and it's a false value. But then let's try to reassign this. Name equal to foo. And then, so name has a value foo. We're all sure about that. And then if name Yeah. So it is if name do something, so it's equal to if it doesn't equal empty string. So it's just a different way to do the same thing, but usually the more you learn about JavaScript, the less code you write, because it's considered as redundant. It's just explicit, but yeah, the less code you write, the better, and you know what the differences are. Is it clear enough, or is it confusing, or? Okay, no questions so far. I will take it as a good sign. Then let's try to, what time? Okay, loops. So what are loops? So have any of you heard about for each, or while, or do while, or anything like that? Then can someone explain to us what for loop is? Maybe. So yeah, loops offer you a quick and easy way to iterate or to go over things multiple times. So let's say we have an array of students. We need to print all their names. So with what we learned so far, let's have the console again here. Const students equal to foo bar. So if I want to print all these students, what will I do? So I can do something like console.log. How can I access the first student? You remember how to access elements in array? Yeah, students of 0, foo, and then the second one is 1. Yes, but I need to do it every time myself, right? I need to print this statement and then decide what if I want to print all of them. And I also don't know the number of students. So I want to have it in a dynamic way without me having to decide the index myself. I want to save myself from repeating the code over and over about printing this. So then I can use something called for to print that. So there are 3 things to do it, like for repeats until a specific condition is evaluated, while that also do something, and for off and for on. I'd actually prefer not to go into this explanation, then show you examples where you can learn about it. So if we start with if for, so we have initializer, the initial value, condition, and final expression. That might be complicated, but if you come here for let I, so you know let, what does it mean? So like I want this, I declare the initial value or the start value of this variable. We know that the array starts from 0. And then we say semicolon, and then we put a condition. Or so every iteration increase the I by 1, plus means I plus I equal to I plus 1, and then keep doing that until this is not true anymore. So let's try just to compile it in our head without seeing JavaScript. So the program starts, let I equal to 0. Is 0 less than 3? Yes. Then go and do something between the curly braces. Then we are done. Yeah, console log the value, which is 0. Then go back 0 or I plus plus. So 0 equals 0 plus 1, which is 1. Is 1 less than 3? Yes, we go in. Then again, 1 plus 1, 2. Is 2 less than 3? Do that. Then 2 plus 1. Is 3 less than 3? No, then go to next. So initializer, it means like the initial value, then condition, how soon we should keep doing that, and then the increment. You can also do it, some people do it from the other way. So you can start that I equal to 3, and then I greater than or equal to 0, and then I minus minus. So you start 3, yes, exactly backward, like 3, 2, 1, 0. So that also works. What else? Yes. Does anybody knows why we choose here let instead of const? That's actually an answer.
We have to change.
Yes. Can I use const here?
No.
No.
Yes, what we want.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. And this is an example we have here. So where we have, if you okay, actually I prefer to use another examples. So let's use the example we have already. So over here, what are we still, do we still have students? Okay. So let's say we want to look over these students. So let's say that we now know that their length is 2. So if I want to start 4, and then let I, what is the initial value? 0. And then what should I do after? Semicolon. And what is the condition? Is this right? No. And is it less than 2 or less than 3? Let me confuse you a bit. 2. Why 3? People are saying 3. Why and why 3? Yeah.
2, right?
Yes.
We start with 0.
0. Yes. So 0, 1, and that's it. So it's less than 2. And then what do we want to do every time? Do we want to do minus minus or plus plus? Plus plus. And then we open curly braces. And then we do console.log students of I. So note here, I didn't provide a number here, but the number will be provided by this for loop. So if I click enter, foo and bar. And I actually am interested to do something else. What if I want to start from the end to the start? Yes, so let's try to think about it together. So for I equal to 1.
Length minus 1.
Yes, exactly. So if I start from 2, then I will try to access the third element of this array. Do I have a third element here? So start from 1. So I equal to 1. And then what is the condition that I will try to satisfy? Bigger than 0? Right, wrong?
Yeah.
Yes, or equal. Because if I don't equal, then we will only print the last element. Yes. And then, is this right? Minus minus, yes. And then, console.log students. What? Oh, yes, okay. Yes, my bad. So, bar and foo. But then, we know now how to do the 2 ways, right? But I also have here hard-coded this too. But we learned last way that there is a method we can use from the list to get the length, right? So we don't have to do it ourselves. So how do we do that? Students.length. And then the array length can change without me having to update my code. Is this clear? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's one of the tricky questions about it. Yeah. So I++ will use the value of I, then increase it, while ++I will increase it, then use the value of it.
It changes output when we use number.
Exactly, yeah.
Like if it's a string, it won't matter, but if a number, then we will get different output.
Yes, exactly, because the number will, the operation to the left will be executed first, then we'll get the number, while I++, the number will be returned first, then we will do the increase operation. Yeah, okay.
So we follow the pattern if it was ++I.
Yeah. But that's, yeah, what we have here.
No, if it was ++I, say that it will be printed after the increment or before.
Let's see. So in this case, does it really matter? No, because we in this situation, we are taking the value after this line execution altogether, so it doesn't really matter. But if we are going to use it for something else, that might matter. But I honestly don't want to explain it right now because it will confuse people. So I'll just like, we can have it later, but if you remember it, then we can talk about it. Yeah.
Another question. So we will follow it checks first, it's declare and assign, then do the comparison, like checking the condition, then it's prints and later that's the flow.
Yes. So we start with 0. 0 is less than the series length. Then we go on print. Then we go to I++ to ++I. Then we check the statement. Then we do this. Then we do it again. then we change the statement, and then we do it again. Yeah. Is clear for everyone? Okay. So let's actually see. Okay. So we have something similar called while. So there is two, for, and while. We still have to go through for each as well, but while is like we have a condition, and then we keep doing something. So how different is this? So as you see, we in the for loop, we start with initial value, we have a condition, then we have expression. In the while loop, we have only condition. So let's, for example, the example in the last here, or the middle. So like I equal to 0, I minus is less than 3, and then we keep renting the I. So we can do the same in for loop, right? So what the difference is, like, why should I use while instead? I'll say that's a good question. So let's say it's a bit of an example from the future. So
only while this is valid, do this and
yes, until something else comes. So let's say that you are let's say we have a list. We still have the list of the students. That's one bar. Let's just verify it's still there, and then let's check. Do we have foo equal to false? Okay. So now have we need to reach through the list and then get something or stop going through the list when we have foo. So if I come here and say, do we have foo? And then here, and then let I equal to 0, and then console log students of I, and then I plus plus. And then let's see if students of I equal to foo, then return, do we have foo? Yeah. So this, just taking a step back and trying to understand what you are doing here. So we will keep doing for loop through the list until we find foo. And as soon as we find foo, the value here will be false. And while only keeps executing if the value is true. So I can also, as we talked earlier, do we have foo can be a truth or value. So we can do it this way. But it's the same as just doing that. So let's just try to run it and see. So we printed nothing. Yes, we have false. So that didn't work. So what do I need to change in the for loop to make it work? That would make it a bit. Okay. So I wrote now a bad while. So it's running forever because the statement I have never. Yeah.
I don't have that. We have to write the break.
Yes, but you can write the break or also change the value that we're looping over. So if we see at the example here, okay, that's when my browser will explode now. It's going forever. Okay, I should have. Yes. Actually, don't know how to. Oh, actually, my browser literally. Oops. Yes. Can I? It's. Hmm. Yes. Which one then?
One by CPU.
CPU. Okay, this one. Force quit. Okay, yes. Then let's see. Oops, okay, that's the wrong one. Okay, it's because I'm using the work machine for it. So Yes. Okay, so it's either picture, sound, not together. Okay. Yes. Okay. Students, if I equal to foo. I just wrote. Oh, okay. So if it's equal to foo, then we want to yes, otherwise I plus plus. So this code will not work. Do you know why? Yeah, where is the I defined? Yeah. So what should I do to fix this? No, yes, we have the I here, but is the I defined anywhere? No.
Like add somewhere that if it's higher or equal.
No, but I itself as a variable, is it declared? No. So what should I do to fix it? Declare the variable. Yes. So let's go here. Let I equal to 0. So let's try. So without running it, before running it, actually, let's try to verify what will happen here. We'll think about this together. So we have continue the loop equal to true, I equal to 0. So while we know that while will work when the condition is true. So continue the loop is set to true. So then we will go in and then we will print the sequence of I. So what is the I value? 0. Then we print true. Then we go and check if the first student is true. Then we set continue the loop to false. Then we increase I, so I becomes 1 because it was 0. So this is the first iteration. Then we go to check the loop. Continue the loop is false. So then we will just exit.
Why is it false?
So because we did it here, we decided here. So if the item, if the student name is
Oh,
foo,
it's not like it's
Yeah.
not blue, then it's
yeah,
false.
exactly.
In this case, false.
No, if it's foo, not foo.
Foo, why don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not with bar after we go.
Yeah, but the first iteration, we set it to false, and when we try it again, we will not reach this part because it's already false. So the while loop will not allow us to continue.
It's like
So we evaluate this condition every time we go over.
So we stated that it's equal to false just to end this, right?
Yes, exactly, because we will finish this time, and then when we come try to see if this is true, it's not true anymore, then we will not do this
Yeah, but if we don't reassign it to false, it will continue.
forever. Which happened the last time.
If you're always showing bar or it's just show full after bar and after undefined.
Yeah, there is why it's continued to, because we have these two items in the one.
Yeah.
Yes. Why is what?
Like why it's empty?
Yeah, why it's situation.
Why it's full stop?
Yeah, not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah. If you.
Yeah, but if I don't do this, if I don't do this,
This continue the loop equals to false.
Yeah.
Actually, endless, but how it can be endless if we only have two like.
yes, but what is the condition to continue this loop? What is the condition? What do we decide on this loop? We don't decide on the elements of the students. We decide on this value, and this value will never change to false. And then we keep doing it forever, which is different from before, because for we declare beforehand how many times we want to do it.
We
But-
cannot declare.
We can, but we can also leave it open or make it more flexible.
Case,
I will come to this after. Yes, just yeah.
Can we write break instead of continue the loop?
That also come later. Yes, that's also true. Yeah, we can do that.
If we're removing this equal to false, what is happening then like?
So let's try to do it. So again here it's true, and this is 0. So while continue the loop, the loop will only be executed if this is true. So it's continue the loop true.
Yeah.
Yes. Go here and then log the student name. What is I here is 0. So 0 is true. We print it, and then is the name of 0 is who?
Yeah, but then we have I plus plus, so.
Yeah. But yes, okay, so let's say we don't have this one. And then I plus plus.
Yeah.
So we go continue the loop is true. Then the student of I is 1. So print bar.
Yeah.
Then we go again. I plus plus is
3.
2, which is the third item. Yes, 2. Then we go again, continue the loop is true. So then we print this one undefined. Then we go again 4 or 3. Then we do it again, and nothing will break us because it will never be false.
Just will have an
Yes,
undefined
your
number.
program will break and your browser will crash. Yeah,
To make it work correctly, we just need to change students I equal to bar, not to full.
yeah, it depends what we are looking for.
Yeah, we just want to execute full and part. And
Yeah,
stop
exactly. Yes, we can do it. Or for me, I wanted to do it for the first place, then that would,
part and stop.
yeah, exactly. And then, so let's try to run it, and I hope my browser will not crash this time. So, yeah,
Not to type it again.
yes. Oh, okay, good. I didn't crash. So that's nice. So we print it. So as described, we want to 0, and then the first item is false, even though I now is 1, but the condition is not true anymore. So we didn't execute what is in here. Clear? So another use case that I think is more common to use with while is, for example, we want to process the elements of the list of the students. So I will show you. So while students, if I can type right, students.length or student.length greater than or equal to 0. No, actually, student list is greater than or equal to 1 or greater than 0 is the same. Then we want to get the student name. So const, or let's just log console.log students of. Then we also need to declare a variable I equal to 0. And then I and I plus plus. And then students dot. Do you remember we talked about methods for the array? So how do we add element to the list or to the array? Bush. How we take item from the array? Pop. Yes. So if I do pop, and then let's think about this program together without even executing it. So start with I0, and then we will only execute this loop if the student's length is greater than 0. Okay. So the students, we have 1 bar. So the length is no, the two elements, yes. So then 2 is greater than 0. So we're good. Then we come and print the first one, which is 4. That's good. Pop will remove the item from the array. So now we have only one item, which is bar. Or I think foo. Yeah. Foo. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yes. And then I plus plus. So then we have the index, the second index. Actually, that will not work as expected, but yes. So then we need to do the, was it shift or unshift? I actually don't remember. So let's try to and unshift. Okay. Okay. So unshift. And how did you know that? Yeah. So if we open array, unshift, and then let's try to read here what unshift does. Unshift method adds 1 or more elements to the beginning of the array and return the new length of the array. So okay, so unshift adds to the array. Okay, so let's say shift. There's shift as well. So shift method removes the first element from an array and returns that removed item. The method changes the length of the array. So it gives us an example here. So array 1 has 1, 2, and 3. Shift will remove the first item, and then we will have 2 and 3, and then we'll keep doing that. So actually, with this information we have now, I can fix my application, right? Actually, why do I have many? So with this information, we learn that shift will remove the first item from the array and return the value of it, and then it reduces the size of the array. So what can I do instead? So Oops, now it's again crashing. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no, okay. Oh my God, okay. Hmm? This one?
Do you know this like 0 and cross on
It's
the
the
left?
console log. It's console log, we printed
I don't,
index.
What are you talking about? This thing cancel?
It's full and.
this will clean.
Index of full is 0.
Okay, so that's saved me. Thanks for saving me. Whoever said that, yes, yes. I would have had to do it all again, but okay. So for the browser, no? Okay. Now I'm scared. So it's not the one we were doing. Okay, so let's start over, or maybe not. So with the information we have here about shift, if shift, okay, I'll just try to refresh this page just in case.
This thing doesn't kill what's working on
The process. Okay.
Cleans what's printed.
Okay,
That's why it's like not save, it's just like convince you that you are safe.
oh, bore me. Then I need to kill it over again. Or now I need to go to the process. Then again, Chrome, then quit. Then force quit. Okay, and then Chrome. And then use my normal email. Okay, so many errors, but let's actually make sure we have students. I don't think so, but yeah. Okay, const students. So now let's go to the for loop again. So now that we learned the information about shift, I hope that one last time. So shift will return the first item of the array and remove it from the array. So if I come here and do this, so shift. So is this enough? But then we also need to update this if students.length is greater than 0. So can you tell me what's going to happen here? Just give a guess if you're not sure.
Maybe we need to add a variable where students pick and it will return
So let's try to read the description again about shift. So shift method removes the first element from an array and return that removed element. The method changes the length of the array. So if we have here in this example, we have constant array 1, 2, and 3. And if we click shift or choose shift, then 1 will be returned as the first element, and then the array will have only 2 and 3. Yes, and return it. Yes. So this should work, right? Should it break my browser again? Yeah, but length will. We don't have to, because shift will return me the first element of the list until there is no more elements. So let's try. Fingers crossed. Okay, yeah, that worked. And then let's see the array itself. Our students, it's an empty array. So it means that the length when we started was 2. We had 2 elements. We started shift, so we had foo and bar. We had these two, foo and bar, right? So then when we went to the first time, is the length is greater than 0. True. Shift will return foo and remove it from this list. So right now we print foo, but this array now also changed. So what is the new value of this? Just bar. And then we start again. Length becomes 1 because we only have bar. Is 1 greater than 0? Yeah. Then we go shift. So shift will take bar, print it, and then remove it from the array. And then the array will be empty with 0. So is 0 greater than 0?
No.
No, then nothing.
So,
Hmm? Undefined is the return thing out of this.
No.
Because you
Yes.
go further, further.
Yes, exactly. Just you don't have to confuse yourself about it because they can be a return type from a function. So the console here can also execute functions, and then the console will bring the value of this function. But in this case, we are not running functions, and the functions we'll learn later in this class. But a lot of fun, right? Yes.
But you can't use student anymore, right?
Well, I can use it if I will add more elements to it. So I'll show you.
Can you take the Zoom?
Am I sharing the screen?
The screen,
No. Okay.
maybe not.
Okay. Okay. So right now, if I execute the same things again, what will I get? Nothing. Yeah, undefined is the return type of this execution. You can just ignore this anything with this arrow for now. But we didn't get any empty array or anything because students list is empty. But I still can use it. So students, do you remember how to add an element to this array? No, to push, let's say I, and then if I call students, then I was able to change it. One bar because those we removed from the list or from the array. But now can I run this thing again? No, because I added high. Yeah. Yeah.
Another question.
Mhm.
When you do first iteration, with sheet, are you sure that your length of students is 2?
Can you repeat?
Can you back
So here or
No, go up.
up? Okay.
The shift.
Here?
Yes. You do the first operation and delete who is students list. And the next operation, you say that item is 1,
Mm-hmm.
but the students array is deleted first.
No, you're confusing index and.
Yes, index
And the
mount and 1. And after first iteration, we delete 0 index.
Yeah. No, but 1 becomes 0.
And look at students again. Then the bar index is null.
But you're
No.
really confusing between mount and index.
So let's try to draw it just to be clear. So now we have this. So let's imagine that this is an array. So we have one bar, right? So let's say that we have here IDX index. So this is of index 0 and this is of index 1, right? We all agree on that. And then we also have this a property called length that represents how many items are here. So how many items are here? 2. So when we do shift, so let's say that this is 1, and then we do shift. Was it shift? Yes. So we do shift. So shift will remove this from the list. So let's see how it will look after. So the new list will be only with bar. The index of this will be moved 1 level up. So that would be 0. And then the length here. So how many items do we have left? 1. So the length here is 1.
After first iteration with sheet, we got students length is 1.
Yes.
Yes? Yeah, that's
Yeah, okay. Cool.
But can we change something if in shift round brackets, we will change it to square brackets? Could it just remove the item with index without length? You have students that shift round brackets. If we change round bracket to square brackets. could it
So
happen some-
you mean here?
Yeah.
If we change this to
to square bracket?
this one?
Yes.
That's
Could it execute the index, for example? Once
no, but that's not how it's intended to do, because like the braces you're talking about here goes to access an object of an item of an object or an index of an array, but they are not used to call function. To call function, you need to use this braces.
Okay.
So this will not be on in JavaScript. There is not accepted in JavaScript. So there are two types. Yeah. Okay. So now that we know the difference, yes, now we go to continue and break. So continue statement can be used to skip one of the items in the for or while loop, and break can stop the loop. So in the example we had, so students equal students dot push who. Let's do it again. Students dot push bar. So do you remember that we had let I equal to 0, I less than students dot length, I plus plus, and then so this will print me the names, right? Foo and bar. That's okay, right? But what if I'm searching a specific item in the list or the array, and I don't want to continue this for loop when I find something? So for example, I'm searching for my name, and if my name is in the first or in the middle, I don't have to keep searching until the list of the array. How can I do that? We learned that we can make it with while loop, right? Because you can say make it true and false and then stop when you do that. But you can also use multiple things. So here, so let's say that I want to search for foo. So if students of I equal to foo, so I'm trying to search for foo, and if I found foo, then I want to break. So it means don't go forward with this for loop. I did something wrong here. Can you tell me what did I do wrong? Yes, that's true. Oh no. Yeah, no, unfortunately. Yeah. So if we run this one, what will we get? Oh, yeah. That's true, because we stop looping after that. If I remove this one, just to be sure we understand how it's run, so then I get 1 bar. Mhm. So return is used more with a function. You return a value. You can also stop executing and then return something, while break or continue is only accessible within the for loop or the while loop scope.
So we cannot return the loops.
No, if it's not within a function.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then again, what if I want to print something only if the student name is bar? So let's say, so I'm only printing here. So what if I now, if I change the order of the things I'm doing and then printing it this way? So will this return anything to me? No. Do you know why? Why this printed nothing? Yes, so we're checking here if the element is full, which is the first element, then we break, so we don't go through this. And then since nothing else is happening, we're not printing it. But if this was before the F, we print, then we check. But there is another thing I can do here. So if I'm searching for bar, what? No, okay. And then if I'm searching for bar instead, then it will print foo, and then it will go and have bar, and then if bar is the same, it will not print the value of it. That makes sense, right? Because so students. So with the for loop, we start with the length. The first item is foo. Is foo equal to bar? No, we will not go here. We print foo. The second one is bar equal to bar, break, and don't do anything here anymore. And we exit that. Let's actually add another element called, or is it bush? Bush. Okay, so now we have foo, bar, and baz, and then if we try to do this again, so now bar is in the middle. So we will print the first element, we will not print bar, and we will not continue after. Do you get why is that? So we start with the for loop is 0. Student of 0 is foo. Foo is not equal to bar. So then we print this one. We go to the next one. Of I, students of I is bar. Bar is equal to bar. We break. And then we don't go to baz because we told the for loop that we don't want to use you anymore. While on the opposite side, if we decide if it's bar, we want to continue. So we get foo and we get baz. Is it logical for you? Just take a minute to look at it.
I think we have a bar then.
Think about it. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So if I go here, I is equal to 0. Students is actually, let's make students to map it. Students. Yes. Okay. So I is equal to 0, and then is foo equal to bar? No. So we don't go here. We print students of I, which is foo, right? And then I is equal now to 1. 1 is bar. Bar is equal to bar. Continue. So we tell the for loop that we don't want to execute anything between this and after this. So then we don't print this and then we start over again. So break was like, don't go anything after that, but again, don't continue this operation. While continue, we will do the one after. So I is equal to baz. Is baz equal to bar? No. So then we print it, and then we are done with the for loop. That's clear?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you just started one element of the array, so this necessarily to use break, if you could just like 100 to print 4, I think. If you could just
Take the element of 0. But what if I don't know the index of the element and I want to search in this array?
not the index, just like I use an if statement, like if students I is equal to 4, then control of more 4. This print is just the same thing.
Yes, but again, in the future, when you deal in the job or something in the future, or you deal with a project, let's imagine you have a list of 50,000 elements, and you don't want to continue because that will consume more resources for your program and you make program slower. So you want, as soon as you reach this point, you don't want to continue. And if you don't do that, then you will just keep doing things without any value return. So yes, for simple program is fine, but for something that's bigger, then you need to be conscious about the resources that you use in your program. All right, so after that, we have our third exercise. Count down to the new year. And this exercise writes a program counting from 10 to 0, not from 0 to 1, from 10. When it's 10, print out something, and then when it's 0, print out something else. And when it's something else, you just print the number. Yeah, from 10 to 0, if it's 10, print OMG, it started, and if it's 0, print Happy New Year, and all the numbers in between, you just print the number you have. You can decide on the type of loop, so you can use for loop or while or something else.
So it's an array from 1 to 0, yeah?
No,
No.
because you can have an I or something that starts from 10 and then you decrement it to 0. It's like when you do for loop or you do while loop, you can choose that I equal to 10 and then I minus
Yeah,
minus.
but I have to loop something. So
Yes.
it should be array. No? Yeah, so we have to create an array and then
Why do we have to create an array?
how we go and divide it, no?
But we can decide the numbers that we want to loop through. We can decide that we want to from 10 to 1 or from 1 to 10, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I less than, yeah, exactly. And then you do it without having to do an array. Array would work as well, but it's not the most efficient for this case. Yeah.
Yes, the port is really, the port is really yes. In this case, it's not as a red, I have to write kind of a bit. So actually, equals to 10. That's not good. This is the number, just think of the number. We print out stuff. You don't exactly, yeah, this also have to give you that comes to one. Yeah, that was okay. Yep, and you run that by so for it to be exactly. Yeah, great. Biggest thing that we was run terms. And it's okay. There's one more mistake. Yeah. No, it's you run or no? So many like it's not 10 and not 0, it's a different number. Like so when it's 0, when it's other numbers, yes, you got this. I mean, it's often but anywhere I start with it, we are to that right. The 90 how did yeah, but better when they have these. Yes, that's true.
In like competitive role play, this is supposed to be last year. We have to get into them. And they're a little bit further. Here you can just.
I don't think it's the numbers, but just the always schools.
High school days.
But I mean, so if you go to here, you know that
Yeah, that's.
how you are third and you have half.
So now it's like.
Valentino was one. Well, no, that's one number. Okay, yeah, let's start with 9, 8, 7, 6. Number is so
Maybe from zero.
No, the boost distribution like when like
No, no. Now I stand for that. And then I just I and the one is no, but we want 10. But instead of 10 plus we will have minus 9.
yeah.
Yeah, this means when you vibrate all those it's nice that they were able yes, they didn't do that major part. They didn't but they if you look you see the game price was yeah. It's okay. But you understand what you maybe the only thing work that's so now but we want to start with 10 then we want to then I should be minus and then in one will be greater than equal to 0. Then you don't yeah, remove all this. Yeah. And also the points. No, that's the line 7. Line 17. Yeah, because the if thing should be inside the blue wire, but that should be greater than equal to 0. Let's run this to see what do we get. Let's go there. Save and run.
So it breaks this time, so that's just what we want. I mean, it works. But we want to take I is equal to 10 with break on and G as started. And if it's 0, we're very otherwise we just do the number. In this way, you need to identify the two. So 0 here. It should not be. You need to add exactly. Yeah. Yes, what are the conditions we have here?
There's no I minus.
Yeah, let's read the question again. Yeah. You are using total cost for here. There's a good case. I is equal to you can combine one. If this condition is 1 or 4 for repeating. They are two different things. You know the difference with 4 and the 4 combined the roots and the gaps. Yeah. So 4, 5, but 2 while is different from 5. 2 while is something that change the condition. Why is you get what we're doing? So now we start with the ball from the beginning. So I stand right. Or sorry, this has been minute. Yeah, question. Can you read the question for me? No. You can read this one. Yeah, exactly. That's the interesting part about the class.
It's getting more and more.
Okay. Yeah.
How many cases of conditions do you have? No, 3.
Yeah.
How was it tried?
Yeah. I think I will skip one of the exercises. Yeah. And then else, and then there's also the third condition. If it's any number other than in zero, we want to build the number and then constant.
Wow.
Also the floor.
No, it's not that they really have the virus. Like you can actually feel like you want to set it amount.
Yeah, that's fine. No, we still need. Yeah. So let's run the blur and then I'll tell you how it works. So we started with I, and then we wanted to select. So then is I and then yes, that's done. And we also then right. Then we print on here started. Then I is then in it's 9 people later than for equal to 0. Yeah. Yeah. It's 9 equal to 0. Yes. Then now 9 it's not equal to 9. Then I minus 1, so I is 8. I used to equal to 0. Then we go again, we do it, and then we do 0 equals 0. Yes. We go here and we say 4 then minus 1. So minus 1 is minus 1 greater than 0. Don't think about this. It's something that's really
Yeah, because
okay.
Have a really big discussion. I like to throw in and or instead of simply showing the oh my god, it's not
Yeah.
Showing the
No. Yeah.
And that's not even right. I think it's on. Yes, so it's only the same one. But you that's the like you saying I should reach the stand and then
Yeah.
then you find the number, right?
But this it's again a stronger mind. He doesn't get mad if you
Yeah.
The same thing we might say,
The I will be put in place. The condition, we get started. So the I is an input from the. Yeah, exactly. But you can also have a form. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we forget. Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have this. No, it's only what always yes. Then there's one thing. Yeah. Oh, yes, yeah, it's yeah, around first, yeah. Then you need, yeah. No, it's up to you. But that's what people do. But sometimes people have to do that. It doesn't matter. Yeah. What do you think? Then we still need to why this one. We want to do that. Still tell the number is used, right?
Yes.
One so why I is greater than or equal to. No. Then you open the first person. Then we want to we have your definition. I equal to 10, but we want to get, oh my god, it's sorry. So let's say I think we can copy the same. Okay, we use yeah, is what is doing the logic is like why something will just no why is not but it has yeah. What the difference before so we declared in different so that they do the same. Yeah, that's all there. So if you look at the same but only difference here inside the formula. We need to do
So then if you do it small, so in the folder work, you do it here, everything. And also this I minus minus. So yeah, but it's quite similar. So what and four are similar. Different ways to do the same. Yeah, but here is
So the equal the must be exact.
All right. So now we are going to learn about functions. So I think we're just running a bit short in time. So let's go here and then we can come back to the other things we are talking about. So Adrian, Yunus. Okay. So functions. So like, what is a function? Function are like one of the most fundamental things we have in JavaScript. We have already got to touch them without maybe realizing that. But you can think of a function as an easy way to use a repetitive part of code. So we use the function, for example, when we said push and pop, those are functions because we use them with the rounded braces. But why would you use function? Let's imagine that we had an exercise early this day about calculating the discount for a passenger when we take a train trip, right? We had like the age and then multiple if statements to decide on the discount. But then what if you want to have two examples at the same time? So you will have to copy, for example, you want to calculate it for someone who was at 15 and someone who has age 60. You will need to copy the if statement 2 times, right? Or you need to change the variable value. But if you want to do it both at the same time, you need to copy the if statement. So then you are repeating yourself, right? And that's not a good thing because it's the same value. And if you change something here, you need to go and change it there as well if you figure out that you're doing something wrong. So a function is a way to compose or connect all these things together so you can reuse it instead of you rewriting it multiple times. So how the function is declared. So we start with the keyword function. This is a preserved keyword. And then we name the function with something, and then we have parameters. With the examples we had earlier, to add an element to the array, it was called bush, right? So bush was the function name, but if we were to declare it ourselves, we would call function bush, and then here the new item of the array, and then we would do something here inside that. So one of the things you need to be aware of, or it's a good argument, when you name a function, you start the name with an action or a verb, is like put or push or add or an order. Yeah, exactly. So yes, so you can name it whatever you want because nobody will gonna prevent you, but it's a good convention to make it in this kind of a form because that's what everyone else does and what is conventional for that. So here for this example, calculate bill. So calculate, this is also an order or yeah. And then you provide the arguments or the parameters here. So like meal and tax rate, those are things we expect to get them from the user. So if you were to think about calculating the tax or calculating the trip discount for the train, the input we get is the passenger age. And then we decide within the function what we're going to use. And then inside this function, we will do our calculation, our own magic, and then we return to the user something. The user doesn't really have to know what is happening inside. They only care about what they are getting back out of here. The function can use return. Someone mentioned return earlier today. So return, if you do something with this function, like you do calculate bill, so you expect to get the bill in return, right? When you call this function, so like we call here, calculate bill, you provide some value, then you get here my bill or my total in this case. So return will return the value that will be assigned to a variable when you use it. But do you always have to use return? No, some functions can do something within and not return anything. So you can also not use return and then print the number if you don't want to do anything. Because, for example, if I'm writing a function to send an email, maybe the user is not interested in anything. So the user will give me the email I want to send an email to and the message. Then I send it. And then the user doesn't really care about anything else because he will read the message on his email or in her email. So you decide, because calculation, of course, I want to get the data, and some other things I might not want to get this data. And as you can see here, the value we the value we pass can be anything, but you can also decide here, for example, this argument or this parameter, the tax rate. If the user didn't provide this value to me, it was here provided, but if the user didn't provide it, then I will assume it's 0.05. So that means it's an optional parameter with a default value. So if the user don't provide it to me, I will make it 0.05. If the user provided it to me, I will use what user provided. But if I don't do this, then I will make it required or mandatory. So the user must give it to me. Otherwise, my function will not work. And okay, let's try to have an example. So let's do quickly like calculate passenger discount. So we are writing a function to declare or to get a passenger discount. So I'm starting with the name. Here is the input I expect to get from the user. And then I have the curly braces that we use so far. So if I want to calculate the passenger discount, what do I expect? What do I want to get from the user? Age. So let's say user age. And then I can do my own logic here. So if user, I hope I still have the logic here, so I don't have to write it again. No, okay. If user age is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 5, then let's say here, let discount rate equal to, or just undeclared, but undefined for now, and then discount rate equal to 5, which is 5%. And then else if they are greater than 6 and let's say until 18, just to make it shorter, and then discount rate equal to 30. And then else, for anyone else, we just make it to 0. So they get no discount. They get the full price. And then we return discount rate. Okay. Okay, nice. Thanks. So if now we can try this in multiple things. So can someone give me a random age that we can try? 10, and then we'll try 25. So 10, is it 30? Is this right? Yeah. And then 25, 0. This is right. So if I didn't have this function, I would have had to copy this one for each of them. And that is not really cool, right? I'm repeating myself because if I decided later to extend this logic and then make another statement this way, if user age is greater than or equal to 70, then they get discount rate of 50%. Okay. So now 25 is 0, or 70 is 50%. So now if I have users using my function, then all of them will get the new update. While if I copied it to multiple places, then I will have to go and see where this code is and update it to all of them. And that's not very good, right? So function is one place to define my logic or the way of how my program is supposed to work. And when I change it in one place, then all other places will be updated by default. And that's a good way to prevent myself from repeating. So we also talked about default parameter or default argument. So we can make it this way. So if the user entered no age, then we'll assume that they are 10. I think usually it's good idea not to assume anything unless otherwise specified, because I don't want to assume the user age. I want you to tell me how old are you. If you don't provide, then I should return you an error. But I'm just demonstrating here for this. So if I do this way, then it's 10. Why? Because 30, because the user is 10 if we don't provide the value. But if I remove this one, and then I try to call the function, then it's 0 because no value is provided here, so there's no default value. So we also talked about that return is not mandatory. So I can decide here console.log discount rate. So in this way, if I get discount rate, it printed 0 and undefined. Do you get now why this is happening? Console log printed me 0. Or let's provide a number just to be fair. So the discount rate is we printed here, right? But the function doesn't return anything. So that's why the console here is doing undefined. So you return nothing from this, so it's undefined. So you can decide whether you want to return something or not. And as you mentioned, it's up to you when you design your program. How do you want to do it? Do you want to keep everything inside, or do you want to split your code into multiple things? Is this part clear so far? All right, so, okay, exercise. I want you to write a function that you give it 2 numbers, and then it returns to me the minimum of these 2 numbers, like the lowest of the 2 inputs. So like 2 and 5, then the minimum one is 2. So then I get 2. If 3 and -1, then the minimum one is -1.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
So printing difference of this.
Oh, you actually, yeah. It happens all the time.
No, no.
I wish I had done my work with this.
You need to do it yourself now. Well, I wish I could do this in my job.
Or the drive passenger. Theorize. No more work. Thing is like the syntax that you're using for it doesn't do something about the other. So the idea is to right. Maybe or how do I do? Yeah, they did. The corner is like no, but then so also that's right. Okay. But now I'm breaking. Just try returning value with 2 and 3. No. You now run it. Save yourself a lot of time. Yeah, because you're in mind that you're not breathing it. That's the guy who's it's just what it is. Without like without yeah, they'll just give it up and remove the condition, and then it would be the same.
Yeah.
You see why?
Nice.
Right. Just like I have pigmented on
That's why we want to yeah.
It's not a crime.
But the thing is, I'm not very good to the are not printing. Yes, but now this function. But you are not capturing it. No, so returns the value and you give this function, but it does not print it. You have to receive the value. So from the function, like how you put but it will not print it. It will only do that in the console in the browser. But this is only like make every for the benefit to write on the but you have to capture the both coming from here. You console on this JS1. Or just then you should return me the movement. So then you should no, so then you need to now, but you need to do further every time. It should have like now that's yeah. That should work, but that's just okay. Then you need to test the program, then you give it like no, you need to pull it to give it like oh, that's the thing. So you can this example. Right? Oh, I gave a B. We have so you number that each and what I guess okay. So like minus is more than B and otherwise with the general. Then you have an example of that. One thing is I go
Next.
For example. All right, I think we're over time, so sorry about that.
So we will have to talk about the function scope next time because we didn't get enough time to talk about this time. But there is an exercise too we didn't use, so that would also be part of your homework. Sorry about that, but yeah. I will copy it's part of, I will share it in the Slack channel with the other things. And there is also the homework itself. I don't have a link for it here, but I will share the link for the homework, and then feel free to ask any question on the Slack channel if you have about that. But today we talked about, conditions, loops, and functions.
Yeah.
And yes, so I guess because we are over time, feel free to reach out to me or any of the mentors if you have questions about them, and then we will talk about scope next time.
Will you go into Slack and show like the Git support channel? Can you show it?
Yeah.
Any of the support channels.
So
It's just called Git support, HTML support.
get support.
Are you in?
Actually, I'm not sure. Okay.
Okay. Class 24, before we leave, 1 second.
Can you look at the screen?
Yes. Two things, no? Next week, Sophie's gonna be here instead of me. Yeah? I'm gonna miss you guys a lot. Hope you also miss me. But Sophie's gonna be here. Be nice to her, help her out, whatever she needs. Ahmed might also not be.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. We'll write on Slack. Second thing is, I added you all to these support channels on Slack. So there's Git support, HTML, CSS support, JavaScript support, and then I'll add you to the later ones also. You can use those if you have any specific questions that you don't feel like fit in the class channel or anywhere else, okay? You can also scroll through, there's history, no? So you can see if somebody else has had an issue. You can search in them if you have a specific issue right now and you want to see if somebody else has had them before. You can use these, okay? So there's 3 channels. You all were invited, have you seen them? Yeah. That's it. Okay. So I'll see you on Slack and I'll see you on the